Oh, continue.
Okay, let me just double check everyone and make sure that we are streaming in Facebook, which we are. Wonderful. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. Michelle and I were catching up. I love to chat with our past members, so we were just chatting. And as you can see in the background, Michelle has a lot of clouds and hopefully some rain. She's in California, so I was just catching up to make sure she's good. But anyway, thank you for being patient and waiting for us. We are here. It is our migraine strategy call day. It's the day that we come on and give you tips and helpful information to help you move forward to find that reduction in severity, duration, and frequency of your migraines. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Debbie Waidl. I am a functional health coach here to support you to find your migraine freedom. So Karen, thank you for joining us. We have some people already popping on. Wonderful. So Michelle, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hello again. It's been a little while.
Exactly. So let's start off with you giving us a little bit of a background, if you could, on your migraine freedom journey and your struggles before you found the Freedom from
Um, how much time you got? Just
Migraine method. The abridged version. How's that?
version really quick. Yeah, I didn't have migraines. That was never a problem. I was always careful what I ate. I was always, I don't like taking medications. I don't like, chemicals in my body. And so I always thought I was relatively healthy. I had my children later. My first, I think, was when I turned 30, and then my third when I turned 40. And it wasn't until after she weaned, when I don't know, she was two and a half, suddenly I have migraines. Why? What did I do? Nothing. I didn't do anything different. Um, and now I've got these headaches that come on, and I could feel them. I'd be driving, I'd have my kids in the car, and I could feel it creeping up my neck, and it would get crunchy and it's painful, and I knew it was coming. And then I knew that, I'm out for 3 days. I see you guys, and as a mom of three small children, I couldn't just, you know, leave or check out. I had to function, and it was really hard. So I was like, what is going on? Okay, so she weaned, so my hormones were changing. I was starting to track it, and I was getting them regularly every month, and I found out it was like 3 days before I started my cycle. I would start it, and it would last 3 days, and like clockwork. It was amazing. I was like, well, there you go. It's hormone related. I got to fix my hormones. So I talked to a doctor who specialized in hormone replacement therapy. 40, it's about, that time. And he assured me that, yeah, this will help you. This will work. And so I spent a lot of money. Hormone replacement therapy isn't cheap. And I spent a lot of money. And it was very, very frustrating to go back and him say, this isn't really working for you. This is, I can't find the right dose, or let's try a different base cream because you don't seem to be absorbing it or getting it or something. And it was always tweaking it, trying to find it. And in the meantime, my headaches were getting worse. I felt bad. He had me on so much cream. Put it on your thighs, put it on your inner arms. When you get out of the shower, and I'm like, I've got small children. I'm going to send them through puberty early. Not touch them. And it made me very upset and anxious. And I'll deal with the headaches because it's not helping anyway. So I just, and then it was, find, my general practitioner. I'm trying to explain to her, well, a lot of people get migraines. What are you going to do? It's just migraines, And so here's some, the sumatriptan. Take this when you feel it coming on, and then it'll help you get through it. Okay, so I still have my first packet, and it's over half full because I couldn't take them. I took one, and it kind of just numbed my body. And I was like, I was high trying to take care of children. I'd rather be in pain, I was
Yes.
like,
So you went from hormone cream around your children to feeling high around your children.
yes, and not being able to really function because I wasn't all there on these pills. I'm like, I can't take this. So I quit that. So I needed something that was a little more natural that, I needed a fix. I needed somebody to fix this thing that happened to me that I didn't do. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything so I can't fix it. Somebody else has to fix it for me. And there was on Facebook, there was a upper cervical chiropractor specialized in migraines in my town. This is amazing. This is the fix that I need. I talked to him on the phone and he's adamant. He assured me, that he could fix it. He's fixed a lot of people. He could do it. And so I went and, paid a lot of money. It's not cheap. And I had it done and went through his program. And at the end, he's like, I guess it doesn't work for you. Sorry. There was nothing else he could say or do. I'm like,
And
okay,
that's
now.
so frustrating because so many of us have gone through that, haven't we? Where we've put a lot of money in, tried so many things, been told by so many people that they could help and could fix, which is why so many of us are skeptical. There's 800 women in this group right now, and I'm sure almost every single one of them in here was skeptical when they pushed the button to join, was unsure if this was going to be the right place to be, but maybe chose to join more so because they wanted community, not so much because they were sure that this was something that would work. So that's totally understandable that you felt that way. And then, had that happen now. So now 3 things that you've tried that
So
haven't worked.
I just quit trying. I was like, I know when they're coming, and my kids are old enough now because it's been 10 years, that I've been looking. And they're old enough now. They'll take care of me. They'll take care of themselves. I can actually check out. So I would just close myself off in a dark room. And I would lay there and think, this is so painful. I have to get up to throw up, but I don't want to get up because that hurts. So I just lay there. And it's just, everybody that's listening, they know they're there.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is not something I've ever had to talk to somebody that feels the pain that I've had. And my family, they know it hurts them, but not, they don't physically feel it. They don't know.
Absolutely. And they love you and they don't want you to be in pain 100% for sure. But until you've experienced it, it's just like anything else, right? And, if you're a man, you don't know what childbirth's like. If you're somebody who doesn't have migraines, you don't know what a migraine is like. So, it's something you can't explain.
You can sympathize, but you can't empathize, as you know. Yeah. And you're right about the community in this group, because that's huge. And I didn't realize that was something that I needed. I didn't know. I just needed somebody to fix it, make it go away. But being able to have somebody understand, and then understand what somebody else is going through, and see, what they're doing for it. It's big. It's like that, bouncing ideas off of each other and things like that I didn't realize I needed. So I finally got tired of just being in pain, and I was like, there has to be something out there. And how Facebook is always listening to you anyway.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Well, just so happened that this Women's Freedom from Migraines group pops up into my Facebook, and it's like, it's a sign, It's so as soon as I went into that group and kind of looked around, and there's a lot going on, and I was kind of overwhelmed. Where do I start? I don't even know what all this means. And then I talked to you, and we texted a lot. You spent a lot of time, answering my questions, because I was very skeptical. Like, wait, but everything you said was something I had thought, or something I had done, something, it was like, the chiropractor, he didn't know. because he doesn't get migraines. He fixes other people's migraines, and my doctor, she didn't know. She just gave me pills. And, so you were the first one I'd ever talked to that really knew what I was going through. And that was, I don't know if it was unsettling. It was, surprising. And I was like, well, this is it. She knows exactly what I'm going through. She can help me. If she says she can help me, I believe her.
And I love chiropractors and doctors. Let's just say that right up front. They are very well-meaning and they try to do their best to support us. And I still see a chiropractor a couple times a year, but I see a chiropractor more for maintenance, as a checkup to make sure that I'm in line, versus someone who's going to come in and quote unquote cure my migraines.
Right.
Because chiropractics, having medication, all those fixes, they're good for managing pain. They're not good for ending it. Right. And it sounds like, Michelle, you were at that point where you were like, I'm done managing. I'm done trying to block it. I'm done trying to keep it at bay so that I'm not throwing up and stuck in a bedroom. I want it gone so it doesn't come back, which is what we work on. And we work on that because I know after 10 years of dealing with it daily, I don't want anything to manage anymore. I didn't want to manage. I wanted it gone. I had enough.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is you want it gone. You didn't cause it, and you just want it gone. So as easy and as quickly as it came, I would like it to easily and quickly just go away.
Exactly.
But that's not reality. And that's what I learned in your group. I think I was kind of in the right mindset. I am in the right mindset for your group, because my doctor gave me meds that I couldn't take. I don't want chemicals in my body, and I want to be in control. That's why I didn't like, checking out. Why I didn't like being high. I want to be in control of it. So your program kind of puts me in the driver's seat and puts me in control of how I take care of the migraines, eliminate the migraines. And that's kind of,
yeah, because we work on a very foundational approach in the Freedom from Migraine method. There is a foundation that we follow, but my job is to talk with each and every person that's in the program and make sure that they can tailor that program to fit them, to fit your lifestyle. Because Michelle is different than, the other 40 women in the program right now, or different than the 40 other women that may come into the program someday. Some have kids, some don't, grandkids, jobs, living in areas where there's smoke, having a job that you're in the pool. Everyone comes to the table with something different. So when we use programs that are that cookie cutter approach, it just doesn't work.
Right.
Because we're all individual human beings.
And I thought that was really interesting, looking at in the program when we would get together for the group support calls. How everyone was so unique and had their own situation that they had to work with or work around, and how interestingly similar we all were.
Yes.
Wow, you too. Wow, you too. And you don't really know that, or you can't know that.
Exactly. So you took a chance. We chatted a lot, which I think is important. And it's part of the reason that I make sure that I have that time, because, everyone is so skeptical. Everyone has been burnt so many times. I know what it feels like. I spent thousands. I hate to even, if I were to add up the number, it would probably make me ill. How much money I spent on trying to end my migraines over the years. I mean, it was the chiropractor, acupuncture, Reiki, physical therapist, massage therapist, on a weekly basis, sometimes a couple times a week. And the list went on and on of the things that I spent money on, just like the rest of you. So I totally get that. So you took a chance, we chatted a lot, and then you came into the program. So how does life look different now? What was that experience like for you?
So what's different now? A lot of what we did in the program is kind of obvious, and it's stuff that I knew, but I didn't know how to apply it, or I didn't apply it enough, or I wasn't consistent, or I wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like on my own, I was like, well, I should, things that I knew that I should do to be better, I kind of did them one at a time. And well, it's not really working. And well, I'll try the next thing. Well, I'll try this and see how I feel, So it was like, how long do you wait until you do the next thing? How long do you wait until you try the next thing after that? And so it was neat to be in the program and go, you were on the right track. You knew this, you knew this, you knew this. You just have to do them all and be consistent. And that was one of the things about the program that really, really helped is lining it all out there. It's not hard stuff. It's all lined up, and you work through it, and you are held accountable to be consistent and long term. And I think that's what helped me the most. And being able to tell my family, look, I'm doing this program and it's going to suck because this is going to be really hard. And I have to do all of these things and everything's going to change. But it's the program. It's not me, making these wild guesses. It's this program is going to work. And if I do this, I feel better. Everybody's better. Right.
And I love how you said that you pretty much knew all of the information ahead of time. Because when I have conversations with people, they tell me, I've tried all the food, I've done the sleep, I've done the exercise, I've done the water, I've done the stress release, blah, blah, blah. They've done it all. So they really have done the things that are the foundation of the program, but they've done 85%, let's say, and not all at the same time.
Right. And not all at the same time.
Yeah. So we tried water. We didn't like how that worked. So we stopped doing the water. We focused on sleep. That isn't working well for us. So we stopped sleep. Now we're going to focus on food. Where in the program, we're like, okay, let's take the little pieces from each area, put all those little pieces together. And guess what? Now we've completed the puzzle, because you were really only missing 15 little pieces. You had most of the puzzle there. It's just, we had to find those missing 15 to fill in. And that's, and it makes it easier, believe it or not, because all of you come to the program with that knowledge. You just need help putting it together. So it's not like we're reinventing the wheel. We're not learning some crazy new fandangled diet or, some crazy new way of living. It's all basic information that just has to be fit in to your lifestyle without overwhelm.
Right. And a big part of that, and like we were talking about before, the community, that community is so important in doing that, because you had all that knowledge, right? And you're trying to put it all together and work through. And when we get together as a group and we talk about it, and everybody's kind of working the same path, and you're being encouraged and you're encouraging, and it's being reinforced and reiterated when somebody new comes in and they are starting where you started, but now you can see your progress and be reminded of, don't forget, that's important. You still have to do that, and see how much better you are from when you started. That part of it, that community is big. That's a big part of it.
Absolutely. Because it is hard when you're in pain, right? Even though your migraines are decreasing as the program works on in severity, duration, and frequency, you're still dealing with them. I wish I had this magic wand that says, okay, Michelle, you're coming on board today. Bing, your migraines are gone. That would be great. Yes. But it doesn't work that way. It takes time. So while you're working on the program, you're still in some discomfort. And it's important for you to see wins. It's important for you to see progress and to be reminded on a daily basis that there are wins, because we as human beings, let's face it, we do tend to focus on the negative. Unless we're reminded, we see the negative, we feel the negative, and we forget about all those good days. So I think that's a huge piece of this community, is that we remind each other of the good days and the good moments. And when we are cheering each other on and supporting each other, that brings a different feeling into our bodies. It actually helps reduce our stress. that sense of community, which is why we talk about that so often in the program, and why I think this program is so successful compared to others who don't have that big community piece. Because I can hand you a book today, right, and tell you to read the book with all the information that we do in the Freedom from Migraine method. But how do you think that would be different if we didn't have the community behind that book?
It would be really hard to stick with it, to be consistent and to, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One other thing I love that you said that I wanted to touch on was your family. So we have the community of all the women in the program, which is amazing, but we also need that family support. Even though they don't have migraines, even though they don't understand, your family was so behind all the changes that you made and supported you, and reminded you quite often if you went to do something that maybe wasn't in the program, kind of like threw you under a bus, but lovingly, because they wanted you to feel well.
Yes.
So, and I bring this up because a lot of when I bring women onto calls to see if I can support them and help them, a lot of times I am encouraging the spouse or loved one or someone within your family to come on as well. And I do that for two reasons. The first reason is, one, when we're in pain and we have migraines, we're a little brain foggy, so we don't always remember everything. And even my own doctor's appointments, if I go to something that's important, I take someone with me because I think it's good to have two people listening, hearing, and asking questions from different avenues. But the second reason is because I think it's important for the loved ones to realize what these migraines have been like. And sometimes when they're on a call and they're hearing me ask questions in a different way that maybe they wouldn't, they see a whole different side of their loved one and how they're dealing with migraines and how that's affecting their lifestyle. And there's a little bit more buy-in to be there to support and to help. For example, maybe that husband who doesn't want to give them sugar, or that 16-year-old child who's like, Mom's going to go to bed earlier every night. I don't know if I like that. But when they are on a call and can hear that kind of thing, it really brings the family unit together. So I love how you said that about your family. And I miss your family antidotes and your and the things in the group. They really kept you on your toes.
They still do. They are very aware. Yeah. Well, my headaches affected them too, a lot. I didn't go places with them. I didn't do things with them because I was going to get a headache, or I had a headache, or and so they felt that. And even when we were all at home, Mom's in a dark room, we got to be quiet, and don't do stuff. So when I checked out, they all checked out, and you can feel it in the house.
Absolutely. Yeah, migraines are just not a individual thing.
No.
They are a household thing. My kids were young when I had migraines. They were 2 and 6 when they, were their worst, 2 and 7, around that age group. And, just imagine that every single day having a migraine and having kids that young. Sadly, my kids grew up with a lot of TV because when you didn't have a choice sometimes, and they're, a 2-year-old, you're not going to let them run around the house by themselves. So it's contain them in a room. As soon as they're not ready to play by themselves anymore, if the head's still pounding, it's the TV's on. And, so I don't wish that on anyone. No. So I know what it's like for a migraine to just take over, totally. So, but now that we've worked through the program, and now that things are getting better with, let's just preface with Michelle, it's harder to tell how quickly things are working because you get migraines at your cycle every month. That's when they come. So we would work on things in the program, then we'd have to wait a month. Then it was like, when's your next cycle, Michelle?
Right. And so that that's a blessing and a curse. I always have to anticipate it and look for it. I want to say something just kind of an aside right here.
Absolutely.
For the people who are listening that might have migraines sometimes. I know there's somebody that was in the group that didn't get them as often, and it's almost like survivor's guilt. You kind of feel bad for feeling bad that you get a migraine because you don't get migraines every day. You know, I should be glad. I should be happy. I only got them once a month, you know, compared. It's not a race. We're not comparing. And never in your group did anybody ever like compare or you know, contrast or who's worse and who's got it bad. Migraines hurt, and it doesn't matter when you get them, how often you get them. You don't want them. You don't, you know, you don't deserve them. And it really doesn't matter, you know, your
Yeah.
statistics. And that was never a thing in your group.
If anybody gets one migraine, that's one migraine too many.
Too many. Yeah. And everybody in the group would wince, you know, because knew that pain, and it doesn't matter how many times or how often. And I think people, you know, listening should know that it doesn't matter. Migraines are migraines. They hurt, and everybody wants them gone.
And I'm so glad that you said that, because a lot of times I will speak with women and they're like, oh, they're getting better. It's good. They're getting better. And then I'll ask how many times a month they're still getting, because 30 days is a good way to kind of gauge. And they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm still getting 4 a month. I'm like, well, that's not good.
Let's keep working.
That's not good. That number does not make me happy, and it shouldn't make you happy. You know, again, one migraine a month is one migraine too many. So for any of the 1,800 women watching who think that they maybe joined this group and they've been in it, and, you know, they started with 30 a month and now they're at 4 and they're happy, don't be happy. Be glad that you're 4, but don't be satisfied. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Don't be satisfied with 4.
Yeah, well, my husband told me don't get greedy. I'm like, yes, I will.
You are 100% allowed to get greedy. You just have to be patient. There's a difference.
I have goals, right? Those are my goals.
Exactly. Yeah, the goal should always be destination 0. Always.
And I think that's also a very exciting prospect. You know, when you say, okay, you've gone from 30 to 4, and you're not happy with it, that's empowering. That's exciting to know that I don't have to settle for, you know, less, and be happy with what I, you know.
Exactly.
That's good. What we're talking about before I change.
How you're doing now compared to when you started.
So one thing about getting the migraines once a month was I wasn't always just like perfect, feeling perfect, going along, everything's good, and then suddenly I have a migraine. So 3 days out of a month. I didn't realize until after I started the program that, yeah, I got those migraines, but I didn't feel good the rest of the month. There wasn't a migraine, but I wasn't good. I wasn't in a good place. I didn't sleep well or rest well. So when I got up in the morning, I was like, you know what? This is how I'm going to take care of myself. I will allow myself 2 hours to wake up in the morning so that I can finally feel good getting out of bed, because I didn't feel good. I would get out of bed and my feet hurt when I stood up. You know, it's like, maybe I'm just getting old, or, you know what I mean? I'm just not healthy. And I didn't realize that that was part and parcel. It all went together. So starting the program, like you said, I had to kind of wait until I could see improvement in my migraines. You know, once a month, here it comes. Is it gone yet? But while I was waiting for those, I could feel the improvement in how I slept, how I woke up, how I felt, just overall health, you know, just how do you say that? Energy and health.
Absolutely.
I could feel all of that getting better.
Absolutely. Because everything we were working on was working on reducing the chronic inflammation that was happening in your body.
Yep.
And as we reduce that, everything starts to feel better. Yes. And then it allows your body to heal itself enough where we can start tackling things that are more serious, like migraines and autoimmunity and, you know, chronic illness and all those kind of things. So it's like peeling the layers of an onion, you know, and where the goal is to get to the center, and each layer that we peel off makes us feel better.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
Probably a bad example for me because I cry the minute I touch an onion, but you know what I mean.
Like onions, because I think they're a trigger. So like no more onions for me, but
There
Yeah,
you go.
that was a bad example.
I know. I'll think of a better one for next time, but we're still peeling away. We're peeling away layers.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of how I've been gauging it is, it's not just the migraines, but getting to that Tootsie Roll center.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know we've talked about this before, but where do you feel that you would be right now if you hadn't found the Freedom from Migraine method? What do you think your life would be looking like? And what would you be doing with your migraines?
Well, I was on a pretty solid path. I knew when they were coming, I had my routine of getting up late and suffering through the migraines. And so I had a pretty good path of where I would be and what I would be doing right now. Except that I made a decision that I didn't want to be on that path anymore. So if I hadn't found your group, I'd have found something. I'd still be trying stuff because you can't not try,
Yeah.
you're worth trying. And that's kind of how I finally felt about myself. I felt guilty spending all of the money and all of that time, things that didn't work. And it's like, I can't do that anymore. And then I realized I have to do that some more. I'm worth it. So I had to find something. So yeah, I'd still be trying. I don't know. Would I have found something that worked now? I don't know.
Absolutely. And you know what, at the end of the day, for everybody watching and listening, whether you use the tools in this group, the Women's Migraine Freedom, whether you just use these tools and find your freedom, that's amazing. Whether you decide to become a member of the Freedom from Migraine method because you would like that additional support to be able to get to your end goal, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you choose after watching some of my, videos and doing some of my trainings that this isn't for you, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
As long as at the end of the day, you find something that brings you the migraine freedom that you need.
Yeah.
Because there is absolutely no reason for the 1 in 4 women who suffer with migraines on a daily basis, there's no reason for that number to be there. 0. And that is the actual mission of my company in the Balanced Health Coaching. That is our mission, to bring that number to destination 0, 1 woman at a time, 1 interview at a time, 1 post at a time, 1 training at a time. And it is a slow and steady battle that we work on, daily. But it is my mission to make sure that women don't have to live that 10 years that I lived. And it doesn't matter, like Michelle said, whether it's 1 migraine a month or daily migraines, it doesn't matter. I just don't want anyone to have to live that way. So if this is something that you would like to hear more information about, absolutely let me know. If this is not the group for you, absolutely let me know that too. And I'm happy to try to move you on to a group that's going to be supportive for you. Because again, it's about finding migraine freedom and being there for each other and helping each other do that. So,
yeah. And there is so much information that you provide in the women's migraine freedom group that somebody who's not really sure if they want to take that leap to spend the money, to make that commitment, they can go through. You have so much on there that they can go through and see, is that something that they could commit to? Is that resonates with them? There's a lot of information, and it's overwhelming, I think, how much information is on there. But
it's hard to have that balance between giving people what they need and not giving too much. And as you and I talked about in the beginning, we try to share the foundation, but we can't share the individuality, because the only way we can do that is by working together. And that's where we help you make the decisions, because you at the end of the day are the one that's deciding what pieces work, how they work, with our training and our support. So, I've had some people say to me, well, why can't you just give it all away for free? Well, there's 1,800 women in the group. I can't come up with 1,800 posts every day, to fit each and every person and how it works for them. So we do the best we can with the foundational approach to get them moving forward. And so that we can get to know each other. And that's why we use Messenger so often and try to do so many lives like this, so we can communicate as much as we can, because we want to be able to give as much as we can. That is my goal. And that's why this group is free. There are many groups out there like this that actually charge a monthly membership. for this information, and we don't.
Mhm.
So, and I do that because I want to give back. I want to give back for the years that I missed. That's like my gift back to all of you. So instead of charging $15 to $30 a month, you get to come in for free and take what works for you and leave the rest. So.
Well, like what I was saying earlier about as much as we are all unique and we are all similar, so a lot of the information kind of applies across the board, right?
Absolutely.
And so the information that you have in the women's group is that information. It applies to everybody and everybody can utilize it. But okay, the cat is pushing on the screen.
We love having visitors on our calls.
We're not having an earthquake in California, it's the cat. But your group, the Freedom from Migraine method, is tailored to our individuality, right? To our specific needs. And that was amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Michelle, I can't thank you for all your time today. So as we wrap up, I'm going to take a look at the comments because I think we have a bunch of comments in here, but why I do and see if anyone has any questions before I let you go. Any last words of wisdom or things that you want to share with all the women who are watching today?
Don't invite your cats to your Zoom meetings.
I was just trying to look around to see if my dog was here. He's lying on the floor behind us, passed out.
Wow, something that we haven't already said already. There's so much. I think like one of my aha moments, that was something that we had talked about before, that was in the talking about sleep and how that affects our health. It was just like, it just clicked on how everything we do, what we eat, how we sleep, the exercise, just things that we do in general, it's all connected. And so we can't just do one thing and see results, or do one, something else, or it's all connected. Our health, everything it's a Mobius strip of our health, and it's all connected and it all comes back in itself. So
absolutely. And the choices that we make daily build up.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Like, let's say you go to a wedding this weekend and you stay up a few hours later. It's okay. But if you do that every single night and continue to do it and don't eat well and don't drink water, well, then we're making, all of our choices are adding up. So the goal of the Freedom from Migraine method is to make sure that we make the least amount of changes necessary to bring you the results that you need, the results that you want. Sometimes that means we have to make more changes than what people like, but we don't start there, because why change something if we don't have to? We want to live as much as we can like normal human beings. We want to be able to go to the parties and eat some of the food, or stay up a little bit later, or miss one day of exercise here or there if we're on vacation. We want to live, as normally as we can, while knowing that all of our choices do impact our health, do impact our migraines, and not just our migraines today, but our health and the migraines in the future. I mean, I don't know about anyone watching, but I'm 52. I was at 52. Yeah. And I want to live to 100, but I want to live to 100 healthy, or even 110 if I can. I don't want to live to 100 sitting in a chair, not being able to do anything. So the choices I make today is going to be what gets me to my goal of living really well at 100. So yes. I love how you said that's all connected. I love it. All right. It looks like everyone is just saying thank you for all your info. Paula mentioned that her husband was thrilled to be on the call, which was great. And he's fully on board, but he is constantly checking up on where he is too. So it sounds like your kids. He's making sure she's all good and staying on track. Good. But again, it's important. As long as it's not like nagging, it's important. And your family does it with you. Like you guys did in the group, a bunch of ladies did a yoga challenge together. And I love the fact that your family did that with you. You weren't just doing it alone. Your kids were down there doing it too. And this is where the success comes in. When you know that you don't have to feel alone at home either, where they're there to support you and be with you because they love you and care about you, and they want their mom back. They want their spouse back. You know, that person that isn't living with migraines. And some of the women in the group, their spouses and kids don't even know them without migraines. So what a gift would that be to give them, you know, the amazing version of mom and spouse who doesn't live in fear and pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Michelle, it was awesome to see you. We miss you in the group, but we're so glad that you're doing well, and we're glad that you're still in Women's Migraine Freedom. If anybody has any further questions, is it okay if they pop them in this video and just tag you to let you know, and you can answer them for them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, you stay safe out there. Let's hope that it rains a lot for you today.
Right.
You can have my rain, okay?
You can have some of our heat, some sunny days.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you again for being here. Thank you everyone for watching. Again, if you have questions for Michelle or myself, just tag us in the group and let us know. I will drop the link in here later if any of you are interested in popping on a quick 15-minute call, just so that we can talk about how we can help you, how we can support you. Again, whether that's through me, through another group, through giving you some resources in this group. It's all about you finding your migraine freedom. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday. And here's to your migraine-free days. Bye, everybody.